Thank you. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Well, perfect. I really would like to thank you, the organizer of this conference, for asking me to be here for this speech. And of course, I would like to thank all the people Gus asked before me and said no. I'm here thanks to them too. I know there are a lot of them. Well, the topic I have to talk about is friendly doctors and the alliance between medics and the community. A little introduction for myself, because I'm not as famous as previous speaker. I am Manuel Maffeo, I come from Italy. I'm a doctor, I'm an activist, I'm a proud PrEP user. Well, the first question I made to myself was, what is a friendly doctor exactly? Because as for my experience in Italy, some doctors define themselves as friendly or LGBTQI doctors if they care about health issues in LGBT community, if they are respectful for sexual orientation and gender identity of their patient. Well, I don't think friendly doctors is the good word, because maybe you're just a good doctor. I think we have to acknowledge that. But I would like to make a brief introduction about the doctor's role in all the story about health system. Because you can be a doctor that apply guidelines, so a doctor that use science in the best way she can in the context she work in. Or you can be a researcher, a scientist, doctors or not, who makes new discoveries. But what is the link between the two things? What is the links that make doctors that apply guidelines, give them the possibility to use science? It's the politicians. It's a politician's choice, because health systems have really much more, politicians influence health system really more than doctors. And when I speak about politicians, it's good to notice that I'm not talking about the health minister, because economic minister, choices made by the economic minister impacts health far more than choices made by health minister. And what can we do to make politicians make choices? It's activism. That's what we can do. And why we have this, how can I say, imbalance between science and researchers and choices made by politicians? Because of course we have. It's the different perspectives, because a doctor usually should answer to this question when thinks about a new instrument, a new drug, a new something. Is my patient's health going to benefit from this? While the politicians made himself or herself another question. How many votes am I going to get from this? This is the question usually the politicians made himself. And I think that nowadays we have the best example of how science is not enough and good doctors are not enough. This is the best example. We have science about climate change over years, and really we don't have a good politician response to that. And it's not a scientist that is changing the world, but it's an activist. It's a girl, 16 years old, not even graduated. And it's important to notice that it's not herself alone, but it's the fact that it's bringing people to care about something. And when the population care about something, politicians start to care about that. So we really have to acknowledge this. But science is not enough. We, I think, understood that. But is it useless? Of course, I think not, and I hope not, because I'm a doctor, so I really hope not. But we really need to think about the differences in activism and scientists, because as far I can see, for my really, not large experience, but now, I'm in the field since 6 years or 7. I think that we are mixing the roles. Sometimes activists, there is a difference between activist and volunteer. The activist, I think, has to ask him or herself, is this right? While we are often volunteer, community health worker that just work for free for the health system. And this is a question we have to make ourselves. Are we contributing to the health system more than the health system is caring for us? This is a question really we have to make. While scientists have to be scientists, have to make science, okay? Nothing more. So, doctors and activists are a good team, but what's exactly the role of doctors in this alliance? This is my last slide, and I want to make really my point, because of course this is all this is my opinion about the field. I'm really interested in knowing yours. I have to thank doctors I talked to understand better the field: Sheena Makoma, Jean-Michel Molina, and Paul Mulbrook, because I talked to them to understand better this topic. And I think that the role of doctor is to reveal lies of politicians, okay? I think that the role of doctor is to support and to state what is true to population and to activists in order to avoid politicians to tell lies. When a politician says there are not enough money, I mean, do we really believe it? Especially in some countries. I mean, can I translate the sentence? We have not enough money in politician language means you are not important enough. That's the real things they are going to say. You are not important enough, because in my country I see money wasted in healthcare in a lot of ways. And how do we respond to we have not enough money with cost-effective analysis? And that it's really good, because this makes in that way the politicians should not use that excuse, because it's an excuse anymore. But I saw a lot of money wasted without any cost-effective analysis, and no one cared about that. I mean, we had discussion about vaccine safety in Italy, and a lot of, how can I say, rumor about that. And unfortunately, I have to say, from a doctor's perspective, that there is not this such support in the PrEP field in Italy, but I think also in other countries. What doctors are saying to politicians is, yeah, you should, it's a good thing, you should do it, but if you don't want to do it, okay, I will not make noise, while, the things they should say should be more like, what that you doing? Because it's really something that has to happen, so I want to see I would like to hear a stronger voice from doctors, because they can. This is something that they have not to. It's not doctor job to advocate, but when they want, they can. And in Italy, we have an example for that. It was about the vaccines. There's this doctor that in a really sometimes rude way advocated for vaccine safety, because there was this discussion to withdraw the compulsory vaccination law. And he stressed the importance, and he came out on journals to the population, to the politicians, even with an arrogant way, but at the end, effective. So what I would like to say to the doctors hearing is, where is your voice in the discussion? Where is your will to, really stress the importance of PrEP to politicians and give them no excuses, no scientific excuses anymore? At least I want to hear a politician say the truth. You are not important to me. Your health is not important to me. I will not put money on that. And I think that I don't have an answer, really. Otherwise, I would maybe had a Nobel. But I think that to find the answer, we have to make the right question. And sometimes we are not making ourselves the right question for the topic. That's all.